eyes, motherfucker.
Yes, guys, surprise indeed. I am back. Welcome to the Flower Hour. I am joined by two of the voices of the 1927 club or something that happens on a Saturday. I don't know what that is, but apparently it's all right. I'm joined by Rhys David Evans and Evan James. How the devil are you both, gentlemen?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm sound, mate. It's lovely to be back. It's been a while. I'd love to say I've missed you, but it's good. It is good to be back. I know I've had obviously some stuff going on, and it's great to be back. Just in the time for pre-season, what more could you want? So the plan of attack, my friends. Obviously, normally with a Flower Hour, we usually do quizzes and things like that. But what we thought we'd change up a little bit. We'll make it a bit of more of a pre-season talk over the next coming weeks. Hopefully, we'll have some wonderful guests joining us over the next coming weeks as well on the Flower Hour to talk about their experiences with pre-season and the pros and cons, etc., of the games they take part in and stuff. But all will be revealed on that, of course. Yes, Jason James, too sweet, my brother. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, this is all good. Obviously, I don't want to talk a great deal about it because I expect you and Ainge covered it in a bit of detail last night. But obviously, for those of us who wasn't in attendance last night's show, thoughts, gentlemen, on the performance, most importantly from yesterday?
I only saw the highlights, but I saw the extended highlights, and that was enough, really. It was. I already see. I know it's nothing to really go off of at the moment. The first game, I've already seen an improvement in terms of the work rate. I think is already different. I think with last season with Bullet, it seemed like they were working on things, but it wasn't really done with any intentional pace. I felt like even in there was that Spanish heat and all that you get. It's hard, and when you're looking at it from like a watching TV perspective, it looks like sometimes they're not really running as fast as they could be. But you can't forget that they're out in Spain, and it's like you can see the stadium is very exposed and everything, so it must have been hard. But you could just tell that they seem to have their gears switched on a bit more than what they did last season. But that's the impression I got just before they even kicked the ball. Like really, it just showed like they're a bit more up for the challenge. But then again, I say that it's every season, everyone has a bit of a rest. They gain back the confidence, and it's a fresh piece of paper. I just hope now that, maybe we can iron out a few of the creases. I'm sure that will come in good timing. My only worry, and I keep saying this, is that we're not really got a big team or some team at home that we're facing pre-season. I know it doesn't have to be the case, but it would have been nice to see that. But again, they seem like an all right team as well that we played.
Yeah, I think they were a very physical team. Those of you, I expect there's quite a few of you in the comment section who's in our chat already now. For me, they were the masters of the dark arts, leaving a little foot in now and again. And the ref obviously let things go, being a pre-season friendly and stuff. It was a very physical game, I think. One thing I'd like to jump on with that, Joel Colwell, and obviously I know you mentioned you've seen the highlights, Evan, mate, but Rhys, did you think that Joel was lucky to stay on the pitch given his challenge?
No, it's one of those you see it all the time to do. It's a tactical foul. It's a yellow card all day long.
That's what I thought, mate.
it's a yellow card all day long, but I think it showed the lack of a real six we need. Because again, we overlapped the full back so far forward. One pass cut on timed field out, and all of a sudden we've been hit on the counter. So I think it showed the lack of a six. But again, it's just a tactical foul. You get them all the time. I mean, how many times does Joe Rolls pull a player back in that position, get a yellow card, take one for the team, everyone gets back, regroups, scores again? It's just one of those. And it's a friendly as well. It's nothing to worry about, I don't think.
Yeah, and he wasn't last man, was he? Let's be real. He wasn't last man. And I applaud that sort of challenge, to be honest with you. Maybe a bit of a, on my own on that one. But I think that's, I think his teammates would appreciate that as well, because if you don't take that geezer down, then that lad's got almost a bit of a free run in without obviously a little bit of cover. Okay, we got a song request. Sorry to jump straight to the comments, and I loved it as well, by the way. Where's he gone? Bob Bank. Got a song for us. Who's the best singer of you two, lads? Give us
me.
Oh, well, I used to be a musician and I did sing on a few of my songs. But
here we go then.
Well, I don't know what the tune is anyway.
Oh, I can't think. It's a girl band, isn't it?
Oh, I have no chance.
Is it Eternal? You can make
a better chance at K-pop than any other girl band from the UK, honestly.
It is that one, lads, isn't it? It's you can make me whole again.
So someone in the comments will get it precisely then.
Turn me on, you can make me whole again.
Yeah, Rob sang it.
There we go.
No clue.
Is this CF11 News? Preseason 1?
Yeah. Just check what I just quoted. Atomic Kitten. Cheers, Mark, mate.
I haven't got Twitter, so I couldn't see what he's tweeted. But what's the breaking news? I know.
The suspense is killing me now, mate.
There's a new Brian by Murphy song as well.
You can't drop something like that and just like, oh my God, the oven's still hot. You can't drop a comment like that and not follow up. Silly Billy. Right, what we got? So what was I going to say? Did anybody stand out for you yesterday? Anybody who...
Yeah, Horvath.
For me, they definitely did. And you all probably can guess who that is because I've mentioned him from the under-21s before. But was anybody jumped out to you?
What was you saying?
Ethan Horvath. That's it. Just just Ethan Horvath in general, just standing out as always, like a sore thumb. I'm sorry, I'm on the Rhys train now of like with him. When you got someone passed the ball back to him, I think it was the second half, like Lawless and passed the ball back to him. It was just use your left foot and kick it out. But no, he decides to bring it to, wordless way, move it to his right foot, and then scuffs it out of play just in time before someone takes it off him. I'm scared that if he's doing that in pre-season, I'm terrified of what he would be like in the league. I got a feeling he'll probably leave because he's not got any kind of distribution with him. He's a good shot stopper and he made some good saves, but that's about it. And he really makes me worried. He made me worried more in pre-season than he did during the season because I think I kind of accepted we were going down. But I know I'll say afterwards who I think stood out in a good way. But yeah, Horvath is just, I don't get it. I don't know if he's scared to use his weak foot or if he's scared to kick the ball away he needs to, but he seems to always wait until he's like proper closed down and he almost give away one goal again. And I was just like, I can't be doing, we can't have these always again. I think with the way Brian by Murphy wants to play, he's probably already looking for a keeper. I'm just assuming that because he's not got distribution. I don't even think in League One because more teams will press. They're more physical as well. I genuinely really don't want to see him in net, and I would blame him. I know I don't like the single players out, but just no.
For me, there's two. I think Lola right back. I thought he looked brilliant. To be fair to him, he just calm, composed for the youngsters as well, playing as right back. So I said the half. I thought he looked solid, and Nayakawa on the right hand side was excellent. In behind the full back. Staying on side, getting the ball through ball into space, run onto it, putting balls in the box. He keeps that up. It's better. It looks better than Tanner at that point. I thought he looked brilliant.
I love the guy. That's exactly what I was going to refer to, Rhys, mate. I love him. I think he's outstanding. he usually plays on the left for the 21s. And I was so happy to see him out there last night. I think inexperience cost him maybe getting us a penalty. I think it was quite late on. When he was through and the keeper come out, I think he could have maybe taken the hit then. And I mean, maybe I'm splitting hairs here, but an experienced player would have, forced the keeper to take the legs and get a pen. But I love the guy. I absolutely agree, mate. For me, he's above Tanner.
Miles better, yeah.
He's above Tanner for me, mate, in the rankings, if you like, on who's going to play wide. He's just young, hungry. He's just got raw pace, and I just love everything about him, mate. I love him. I think he's got a great future ahead of him, and I hope that he's utilised this season. And yeah, we can see even more of him. To be honest with you, there's a couple of young lads there. Like you obviously mentioned, Lola, Rhys already. Excuse me, sorry. That fingers crossed we'll see a bit of a breakout season. Obviously, you touched upon the Joel Colwell tackle, if you like. But before that, what was your thoughts on Joel's performance?
Yeah, I thought it looks good. I mean, he can play the 8, he can play a 6, he can play a 10. It's hard to judge really on the first game of pre-season, but back to Naikawa as well. When you said about him being young, I think it's one of those where last season we've seen experienced players like Willock, El Ghazi, Tanner at times, and last year Bowler. The experienced players on the wing, they stop, cut back inside, and give the ball away. They don't want to do nothing with it. They're too scared to lose the ball. Naikawa looked fearless yesterday. If he didn't beat his man, that wasn't he was going to stop. He kept trying and trying. And I think that youth and inexperience would benefit him because, again, if I lose the ball, fuck it, I'll go back at it again and try again.
No fear, mate. It's no fear. I love that. I love that in the youngsters.
Yeah, you see with Ashford, how many times does he try and beat his man? If it doesn't come off, he'll try and try again. But you see other players like Willock, they'll stop, cut inside, look for the pass, look for the safe option. It's as if they are scared to lose the ball, but the youngsters are not. They feel us. And I think that's what you need as well, is a bit of directness. When's the last time we've had a winger that looks to beat his man, get on the byline and put a ball in? I mean, we don't. We get wide players now playing inside forwards, inverted, who cut back onto their stronger foot to try and put a cross in. It's too easy to defend against. So to see a youngster take the man on, put a ball in, is just refreshing, really.
When
Mendes Lang's last one for us.
I think when Ollie Tanner got signed by Steve Morris, I think it was, and they played him in pre-season then, he was very raw, but he was taking on players pre-season. I thought he was quite a good dribbler when he was first signed, I think, because they haven't had it coached out of them to cut back and pass inside or cut inside. And I think it was nice because it was exciting when Ollie Tanner did that. And I definitely think that Errol Bullock coached it out of him to take on players and making comments like, oh, he's a bit overweight or he's a bit lazy. And if those things are true, maybe, I don't know, right? He probably was because he got injured as well. But that's not how you coach players back into it. I mean, Josh Bowler, Christ alive, the start of the season, I mean, he scored a debut goal against Leeds. That's because he was taking players on and he was keeping the ball so close to his feet so he can get right up to them and people couldn't figure him out. Within 5-6 games, he was coached out of taking players on 1v1. He was told to turn back, pass it, and almost have his back towards defenders or goal. So he's playing like a target winger. I'm thinking where's Tanatu Naikua all this time? We've had him the whole time, but none of the managers we've had have put any trust in the youth, and that's what really pees me off. Yes, I know we brought in the likes of Ashford, but it's like one youth player per season when we had, this current time, we have the most prosperous youth players ever, and we don't use them until we get a youth development type of coach. And it's actually, I think, it's quite a smart appointment. For once, I give the board a lot of credit, especially Tan, to maybe think it was an intentional thing to go for someone like BBM because of the fact he's worked with youth players, and they know obviously they got a good youth development squad at the moment. So I definitely think that was a big part of it. And yes, I know we need some leaders on the pitch, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to be ridiculous with it, BBM. I think he will get some in. But at the moment, to look at our squad now, I'm thinking who cares if they win 2 out of 3 of their dribble rates or whatever? Like, I want to see some exciting football for once. You know what I mean?
I think the issue we got is we have money. Like, and it sounds weird to say, right? But you look back at Dave Jones's time, right? The right back is injured. What's he do? He has to go into the academy and put Chris Gunter in. No, Ramsey comes through. We need a midfielder. Darcy Blake comes through. We need a striker's injured. Stuart Fleetwood comes through. We had to play youngsters and Dave Jones. There was nothing. There was no money. And last year, at the Bullet, you've seen we need a left back. What we do? We sign Esbron Wilson on loan. You need a wing. You need someone on the left hand side to get Callum Grant on loan. You can just easily replace a position now on the loan because the money's there to pay the wages. Previously, we couldn't afford to. We had to play youth. So I think that's the part. The other part is as well, when you're fighting relegation year after year, it becomes a risk, doesn't it? If I play youth and we go down, I get blamed, they get blamed, it's not good enough, game over for them. If you're mid-table year after year, you can afford to bring 1 or 2 play youngsters in. That's why you see Bullet do it towards the end of his time in the first season. We were secure in the league, we were mid-table, I can play a load of youngsters now, I can give them game time. And it sort of takes the pressure off, and if we lose, we're not going in the relegation battle. So it's things like that. So again, it's this year now, we're chasing promotion. There's going to be a time where the manager has a choice now. Do I play a youngster here? If we're playing well and we know we're doing really good, then that freedom is there to play a youngster. But if we're mid-table and the pressure's on, then all of a sudden he's going, I got to play my experienced players. I need a result. I can't risk playing a youth player. And that's a problem you have, that is.
Very quickly, so I know, Rob, before you're going to jump in as well, I kind of disagree with that because, like, I understand it, right? Because it's just the norm. But I'm always one that kind of goes against, like, the traditional rules of what it's like. And I think it's those a few exceptions of managers that do really well. I mean, you think of Sunderland. Yeah, they still had some experience around it, but they predominantly made young players who haven't had a career of different injuries. And albeit you have, like, Ronan Capaccio, which has come back from a serious injury. But for most of them, they haven't had built up all these injuries. And I feel like sometimes it's more risky playing older players because, you could sign them. You could be on a big wage because they're at that age, but then they get injured. And it's like we've had to let go a lot of our senior players to make room for more younger players. And I completely get it. And I'm with you on that in terms of you don't want to take too many risks. But I when you look back at the start of last season, really, was there any? We hadn't won a single game. Was there any risk of using some of the youth then? I felt like there were some people dying to make a good first impression. And there will always be pressure, whether you're top or bottom of the table or you're middle of the table. For me, we drew way too many games last season. And I'm not saying that putting on loads of youngsters would have changed it, but it definitely would have got the fans behind the club a lot more, maybe even sold more tickets to get the atmosphere going. And, it sometimes can be like the occasions, like the Premier League. If it weren't for the fans of the Premier League, I don't think we would have got anywhere near as many points because everyone was there, everyone was back behind them, and we had that kind of, togetherness. And I think I don't want to be using all the youngsters and just like chuck them all in. But I see enough there from what I've seen, so far, that we do need to use them more regardless of what kind of situation we're in. But I don't think it'll get to the point where we'll be facing League One relegation, no matter how it pans out. But I don't want to say too much.
The problem is, though, like last year, we were losing like 5-6 games in a row. And at that point, our fan base are toxic. Let's be honest, if you bring a youngster in, a youngster makes one mistake, half a fan base have turned straight away. They're going to crucify the kid. Sadly, that just happens with our club. We're not patient, some of the fans aren't. So then there comes a risk. And to be fair, Bullet played a lot of youngsters now and again. Rhys last year, Ashford was a regular, Rubam's a regular. We've seen Capaccio start coming through, unfortunately, his injury. Mm-hmm. So there was a Bacon played quite a few more games as well. So there was bringing through youngsters, and it didn't work out. I think you've got to get the mixture right. That's the important thing. You do need leaders as well, because again, when things are going bad, you need someone to get everyone else going. And how many times we see last year, we could see the goal, everyone's head would drop. There was no one out. Dowd was trying to get players right up, but no one was listening. I mean, and when we had Shaw Morrison and stuff, right, you go down, you see Moza, Bamba, Peltier, Gunnarsson, Rawls, all of them screaming at each other, sort it out, and they would. With this slot, once they go down, that's it, their heads are gone. You could see last year. I mean, the Oxford game, we 1-0 up. They score that free kick goal, that absolute worldie, to be fair. And all of a sudden, we crumbled. We just absolutely collapsed.
That's losing's a habit, though, isn't it? And when you get in that said habit, you just think, and this is not me maybe digging anybody out or be defending anyone. But like you think as a Cardiff player, and you're like thinking, oh, goal's got it. Oh shit, here we go again. We're going to go on to another romping, or we're going to lose another game. When you're on when you've lost a ridiculous amount of games all season already, it just becomes a norm, and that's the habit you want to break. And that's like, this is a comment and a conversation I can't wait to have with, as I said, I won't delve too much into it right now, but when we do have get ex-pros on over the next couple of weeks to discuss pre-season, I want to discuss with them, that's apart from the fitness side of things, the results side of things as well. I want to speak to them regarding that. That's because I think everyone harps on about it's performance, not results, it's fitness, not results, and things like that. As in, like, media and fans and things like that, and social media outlets. But what do the players actually think? What do the players think? Like, after they conceded that goal yesterday, that late goal yesterday to equalise, what do they feel? What would they feel after that? Would they feel like, oh, never mind, it's just a pre-season friendly, or given the season they've had last year, would they think, oh, bollocks, is happening again? Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm overthinking it, but
no, you're right.
Part of me is like, these players who's been part and parcel of 90% of the games last season or whatever it may be, to concede a ridiculous goal, and I felt for the guy, the keeper, the young boy who got brought in, obviously due to an injury, etc.
Yeah,
but like, that was such a Cardiff goal to concede. Numerous people said in our chats, it's such a typical Cardiff goal to concede, and to concede said typical Cardiff goal, surely that would, and I'm not trying to push that on it to be the case, don't get me wrong, but you the players like your Chambers or whatever, your Darlings, etc., who was there and playing a lot of the games last year, did they come away from it and think, oh, fuck, it's happened again? Do you know what I mean? But like I said, that's something to talk about as the weeks progress. Now we'll have it's going to be a fun few weeks, I think, lads, coming up. What I want to do quickly before we start going on and carry on discussions, jump in the comment because it's going wild. Got a big fan here, Steve Morgan, come on, Evan. Evening, mate.
Big up.
Mark, evening, my friend. Jason, the guy who loved my top. Much love for that. Spice Boys are back.
I just laugh at it.
Evening, Martin, my friend. Hope you're good. What we got? Just jump through. Another chant, is it? Salix the one, Salix the one, Salix the one, Salix the one, waiting for. I feel like I butchered what might have been an attempt of a song chanted that then.
Rapping.
Oh, there she is, my favourite lady, Lorna Evans. Welcome, my love. And Sarah as well, second favourite lady, sorry. There was something I wanted to follow up with on the back of CF11's. Oh, here he is. So Bale has just come out and said he's put in another bid, and one that is more than very fair, and he thinks he'll get accepted. There's a lot of attention to that, by the way. There's quite a few comments from various other, looks like social media pages who's commented on our chat regarding this. Where's he gone? I've seen another one about it just now. Yeah, Bob Banks says, apparently Bale's group is submitting a new offer. I've spoken about an interview with Front Office Sport today. Not sure how credible it is. I should have read that before putting that up. There we are. Josh,
I wonder how it's going to work. Though. Are they buying out Dalman as well?
That?
I wonder how it works. Are they just buying Tan shares, or are they getting rid of Dalman as well? You hope he's going as well. What do you mean?
He's the one I want more than anyone, mate, to go.
Like, honestly, all three of them I want fucking God, and I can't stand none of them. I think they've all been a shit show. But I know he owned the club. He has lent the club a lot of money, so I don't know if it's a case of Tan selling just his shares, And then Dalma stays on with a massive debt, or if they're going to pay him off and kick him out as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the consortium will be made up if it does go through. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, mate. What we got? Okay, no worries, Evan, mate. Where we going? Hello. Oop. Bob Bank says they've been a fair off, actually more than fair. Evening sales, hope you okay, my love. Oh my God. See, I need to stop bringing my mugs when I come downstairs. See, F11 is Canton. I think he's living in Canton. Josh, lad, Ashford was very good as well. Bob, it's happening, lads. He's going to celebrate. Bob Banks literally put all his chips in now, mate. He's gone for it. I love it. Mark, love BBM. Quote, wingers got to work hard when going forward in defence is non-negotiable. Spot on, my friend. Yeah, 100%. It was like ours. Clever layoff to Turnbull. I thought Turnbull did well yesterday. I did think he did a good job.
I hope he stays, but it's just we're so overcrowded at the moment in that area. Someone's bound to go in that area. I reckon Chambers will, but then I think you're probably going to get rid of someone else as well in that. I don't know, is he a number 8 at the moment, or is he playing 10? What did he play yesterday? Do you know? Because I didn't.
He's like 8.
He's an 8. I think he's probably most effective in the 8. Yeah.
I like him a lot. I do like him a lot, to be
underrated.
Honest. When he's on par, when he's on point, when he's going, he's very, very good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just does the basics so well.
Yeah. I thought Wintle did okay yesterday, Rhys.
I thought he did okay. It's just, I just don't see him as a proper 6. I think we need a real 6. And I think you can see that now and again when the teams broke through us. I think we need a proper 6. But if he does play there, that means either Turnbull, Robertson, Joel, Eli King, Chambers, one of them misses out. And again, right now, our best 2 would be Robertson and Turnbull. So then seeing...
What do you think about Eli King yesterday?
Again, I think they all played well yesterday. You can't criticise any of them, but again, it's hard because it's pre-season. And last year in pre-season, everyone looked brilliant to me. And then all of a sudden, we would lose the first 4 games. So there's that. But again, I think he does need to overhaul our midfield a bit because we are quite heavy in that position. And we do lack a clear 6. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, that's where I feel like, well, we've been linked with a couple of players, but I feel like we need an experienced number 6 there who knows like the proper Brexit tackles, if you know what I mean, like in League One, without being, too reckless with it. I just feel like defensive midfield is like a really important position because you can so easily get dragged up position. Like you see Siopis, he did a good job for us, but a lot of times he would press himself. He would press as a striker, even though he's defensive midfielder, and he could run the pitch for days, honestly. And he was pretty quick, but he was almost like an interesting, unorthodox number 6 because he was literally so small, but yet he was physical again. So, like you said, I think with Wintle, he's kind of the same body structure as Mansberg. But I think the one thing that Mansberg has over Wintle is just the ball control and being able to, quickly transition. And I do like Wintle as a player. Don't be wrong. I just I put it past me now. Water under bridge, whatever they call what the saying is, of like obviously his past and his attitude. And I believe, he can push on now. But again, like I said before, you look at that area, there's so many people that could grab the position now, and they're not going to want to be sitting on the bench, are they? So
that's the thing. Like you want to sign, you want to strengthen it anyway. And again, I think Chambers does a better job defensively than him, but he's more mobile than Chambers. But going forward, Turnbull does a better job than him. So he's decent at one thing, but he's not better than anyone else in his role, if that makes sense. So I think we do need to overhaul that 6, get someone in proper in, let him go. I think it's time to move on. I mean, if you can get money for him, fine. If you can't, I mean, he went on Millwall last year. He couldn't get a sniff for Millwall. George Saville was ahead of him all last season, and at the end of the season, Alex Neil told him he wasn't good enough and let him go on a free. So, kind of says it off.
Is he at Luton Town now? I think George Saville's gone to.
Yeah, again, Millwall said he wasn't good enough for them, and he kept went out to their side. So, but it's one of those. If is there money? Is the players we want available? Are they available for the fee that we can afford? I mean, maybe we're not buying someone because the Bale thing is going on right now, but there is talks about selling the club in the background. Maybe that's why the club don't want to spend money. So, we just don't know a minute. I thought Sav was pretty good for him, to be fair. I thought he was quality, but I don't know. I think we've got to strengthen it. I think Wintle can go and Chambers can go, if I'm honest.
I'm just looking at all the comments. They're making me smile. Scott Hunter brings up about Tanner. Looks like he's put a weight on. So I want to bring this one up because, in particular, I've seen a photo of Tanner, and he's bulked up muscle-wise. He's put on some muscle, Ollie Tanner has. I don't think it's a weight issue. I do think that he's been weight training. I think because that was a part of his game that needed working on, was that he could be a bit light-footed at times, I think. So I'm not convinced that he's put fat on. I think that he's actually put on muscle mass, personally. Halftime Oranges. I love that name. Quality, by the way. Why we still keep Matty? He was dying the championship and non-existent his 5 appearances for League One. Bolton. We're all big fans of Kieran Tete, so we'll see how the pre-season goes. I'm not even going to delve into that one, to be honest with you. We got Oxford game as an example of that. O'Dowd was trying to attack, everyone else passing back and forth, 100%. Tanner is twice the size he was. Oh shit! Tanner is twice the size he was in the build. Like I said, I don't think it's a fat shaming job. I do think it's muscle. I say that as a big fatty myself, but I do think that he's whacked the muscle on. So we've got a few comments in. So we got Warzone clip in. Welcome, my friend. Viva Carafale, Zach Duck, and Warzone clip in again. Bale, love it. Bob Bank, what we got? I think Tanner's more effective centrally. Yes, agree. If he's going to play out wide, he's got to be on his left. Yeah, 100% agree. For me, I think he'd be more suited to a 10.
Yeah.
I think he's more suited to sitting behind centre forward because he has got bags of ability, but I just don't think he's got that raw pace to get up and down, regardless of where he's put muscle on or whatever it may be. I think he's more suited to a good 10, where he can literally dictate the play and put wingers in, put a centre forward and have a pop. We know he's got it in his locker, by the way, to have a long shot. We know he's got that in his locker to have a go. So I think that's his position personally. I think I brought it up last season or maybe the season before by now. But yeah, that's what I would say personally. Josh Bowler.
Tasks I mentioned earlier, yeah.
I ain't going to talk about Josh Bowler because we all know my thoughts on him.
Oh, yeah.
He's not on my Christmas card list. You boys, you the news about Bale.
No comment.
What we got? I think Tanner will end up playing left back. Oh, it's not a bad shout. I think it's not a bad shout. Yeah, he's done wing back, hasn't he? He has done wing back position before. But like I said, mate, I think 10's his job, 10's his position. And speaking of 10s, again, I don't want to get carried away or whatever, but I was very impressed with Ruben last night. I think he did a great job, not just because of his free kick, but that work he put in to get Cardiff up and running towards the assist, etc. Could easily have gone down, showed his strength and power to break through. A couple of naughty little tackles. I thought he was very good last night.
I said to Mark last night, how many times last season, right, did he have the ball look forward and El Ghazi standing offside position already? And he couldn't pass him because he was offside all the time. So he'd have to hold on to the ball, then he'd lose it. Last night, now Nayakawa was just drifting wider and wider, hugging the touchline, bit of space, put the ball over the top, get on the end of it. The amount of times he fed him and found him, and on the left as well, he found Ashford doing the same thing. I think players being wide and in space, and he was outstanding. He was carrying the ball so well. He was feeding balls through. This is what we've been calling for the last 3-4 years, and I think last night we've seen that, and you're hoping now next year you'll see a bit more of that. My only slight concern is League One is going to be a very physical league. Are they going to target players like that there? Are they going to try and leave a foot in on him? Because they know if he's going to do things like that, it'd be a smaller pitch. They're going to leave a foot on him, try and scare him off the ball. So I'm hoping the players around him, back him up a bit. Like,
is a comment I put in the private chat here because it's a bit further down. But Martin Ryan said that Ruben looks so confident. BBM obviously boosted his self belief, and I definitely think that's been a big shit. You could see he's just allowed to play more freely, and when you let someone like him just be like that, he was so much more physical as well. I know he's already quite big and everything, but he was hustling, trying to wrestle people off the ball in a way. But it was nice to see how direct he was as well, because he's got players around him now that know how to play with him. A few of those comments,
right? I'm just literally just coming to the comments. I've bloody missed this, guys. Thank you. It's been a mint time to come back yourself, because the comments make me laugh. It's mint. I love it. Oh yeah. What was it? There was one I seen. Where's he going? He's just shit. Didn't Lawler go? Would he part of a free in defence, not a right back, Lawler?
No, he went right back last night. But the full backs would go forward, so he was like a back three and defending.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think he plans to use a bit of to switch between the two. Whether he does that in game or if it's just certain oppositions, I don't know.
Well, it's one of those things you need a pacey full back to do, and not saying he's not pacey, but again, you look at last season, right? How many times did NG go forward? He'd wander centrally, and we get hit with the ball over the top, and there was just so much space for opposition players around to and get the ball in the box. So I think he's trying to be a bit more smarter now. So if the right back goes forward, the left back tucks in, and that's where a six will play, be important. The six will drop deeper and make it a back four and shield them. So I think one or two players in, and he can sort of play this thing
then. Sorry, I know you're all talking. I'm just.
He just blanked you all of that.
No, I am listening.
No.
I am.
He's having too much fun.
I'm in my element, but
yeah.
Elon Musk can do one. Nathan says, welcome, Nathan, my friend. Bill said, take total control of the football club, so Mr. Dahlman be gone as well. What a shame.
Thank you for that.
These players are clearly being asked to look forward, the pass rather than sideways or backwards. Sonder was putting it straight to Willock. Has there been an update on to Sonder, by the way? Because obviously we as you all probably aware, he went off injured through the first half again. I say again, it's unfortunate, and I do feel for the lad. He seems to rack up these injuries more than appearances at the moment, and it is a shame. And it makes you wonder, is this going to be a story of his career? Because we all know great players who this has happened to over the years. Has there been any update on it? Has anybody heard whether it was just a precaution or whether it was more significant than that again?
I didn't see it. I've seen no news since, but I think he limped off with a hole in his hamstring more than anything he was.
Yeah.
So you hope it's just a bit of muscle tightness rather than anything else. Just felt a bit of soreness, come off. I sit down, go again on the weekend.
He's like the opposite of a DFSer. The deal never begins, honestly. It's one day you eventually make it onto the pitch and play a full game. And just
DFS going to a reversal card,
Yeah, literally. He's the opposite of that. It's the sale is ending soon. But instead it's he's almost going to play
the starting soon.
It just never happens.
He'll probably go back to the cure trick, won't he?
Oh, he will, yeah. That's all that. But you have a cracking season there in Kortrijk or whatever. Again, you'll have another good season there. Come back pre-season, get injured.
Yeah,
we need to stop sending players out there. I feel, but to be fair, once we eventually get new owners, whenever that may be, might not ever hear of that club again. No disrespect to them, but like I'm no disrespect. I am just fed up of shipping off our players to Kortrijk. I mean, at least Simic has gone somewhere else's time. I mean, did about up there.
Yeah, he'll be going off to play in Chicago FC or something like that.
Well, yeah, but I heard that his attitude was never a problem anyway, which is really shocking to me. Allegedly, I have to say, but it's just crazy. I think the best thing you could have done was go on loan, because I think you need to get away from all of that. You need a year to forget about disastrous sort of half a season. Well, he didn't even have it, so I can understand his frustrations. But at the same time, yeah, it's just having time away to just forget about it. But with Tsunoda, you think now, this season you got to be looking at him thinking, right, what can he do now? Or because you can keep putting him on loan, but it's like that's still part of a wage that we're paying a player. And I was really excited to see him. Like, we never signed overseas that far, like Japanese player. I think, what can this guy do? And we still don't know. No one knows anything about him, which is a shame, really. And I hope he does get some chances. But again, if it's like these hamstring injuries, they can be some serious damage.
Look, it's a smart move, isn't it? Like we did it with Kenza Ho. We did it under transfer embargo. So we signed Kortrijk signed Kenza Ho, then loaned him to us. Now they were under transfer embargo, I think 2 or 3 years ago. We signed Tsunoda and then loaned him to them. So I just think it's just his way of getting around it. Then all of a sudden, I don't know how financial fair play works out there, but if we are paying his wages over here, then over there he's not on the books technically, is he? His income doesn't come towards the franchise. So there's that. So again, I think he's been bought for that side, if I'm honest. And again, he's injured again, send him back out there. 2 years, he'll be off our books and he'll sign up for them for free or he'll go elsewhere. He will.
I just hate that though, because people said he's decent as well, but it's when we sign a talent from, we don't know where's the last time we signed a player from like Japan or or South Korea or something. Like you see, like it's not often, but like you have occasionally, like in I don't know his name. Oh, there goes Rhys.
Oh, hi, Rhys.
His internet was a bit thinner than, but I think I'm not sure if it's like Sakamoto or something plays for Coventry, or some of that was for some of the club. Or what are they? Yeah, I'm not sure if he's Japanese. I think he sounds Japanese or South Korean. Like he's quality. Japanese. Well, I know like a tiny bit of Japanese and whatever, but they it's just like some of those players, right? You get them from the middle of nowhere in all respects, and they just hit the ground running, and they have so much respect as well for a club. I mean, Christ, I'm surprised we don't really have more like Malaysian, Philippine players, considering we have the worm and the badge,
Yeah, 100%, mate. And the one that's a good point. That's a really good point. In my time, the ones that jump out at me is, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. So I think the first one jumps at me was Inamoto. Before, I'm assuming before your time, maybe me. So it's good a few years ago. He used to play for Arsenal, Fulham. He was a central midfielder, CDM, maybe something along those lines. And then a more recent Asian gentleman we had was Kimbo. The first year we went up to the Premiership.
Neil Etheridge in the second one.
What's that?
Neil Etheridge, Filipino.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I like Kimbo. I like Kimbo a lot. I was a big fan of him. And it's a shame, obviously, when Cardiff went down, that he decided that enough was enough. There's a couple of comments I really want to jump to. I'll let you in then, Rhys. No problem, mate. Can you come?
I don't know what happened there. Just disconnected yourself.
I kicked you out, mate. That's what it was.
Oh, was it?
I'm joking. Good comment from Josh. Yeah. Just on the game yesterday, test line wingers are back. Thank God. Aided inside forward, suffocating underlapping midfield space. Looking at the underlapping runs, Ruben and Joel made good signs. Spot on. 100%. I think we can unanimously agree with that. Great question. I want to follow straight up with our good friend Bob Bank here. If the Americans that come in with Bale want Hovarth as number one, is it worth it?
Oh, fucking hell.
What a question that is, by
USA
the way.
chance coming back now. USA
chance.
That's a great question, mate. I love that one, Bob, mate.
the Americans
What a question.
will be smart enough to have someone in charge who knows what they're doing, and they'll say, "We'll be the money men. You make sure the club is on the right footing." And anyone can see that he's not good enough for us. He's not good enough over you, I don't think. Unfortunately, I mean, Jonathan said in the chat there, the Americans don't even like Horvath. He put a picture in the night in the group chat of all the Americans calling that Rhys a Horvath 2.0. He's worse than Horvath, and saying something and stuff. So they're not a huge fan. But again,
we'll have a new.
I just think the manager will have a say. And if the manager says, "Look, I don't rate him, I want him gone," the owners will say, "Look, it's your call. Get him gone."
We'll have in the new ownership. We'll have someone called Kevin Tuman, and he'll just like try and mess up every transfer negotiation possible, and that's what's going to happen. Kevin Tuman, I can totally see that name coming up somewhere. He'll have his own car sales place in Chicago or somewhere. I don't know, and surprise all the windows aren't smashed, like I
think
have his at least what those
don't get me wrong, I want Tan, Dalman, all them gone as much as the next person, right? But there's not many American owners who have been successful in the Football League. I mean, Birmingham are doing a well job, but you look at Swansea's American owners, they were fucking shocking. You see, was it the one tried by him, Morecambe, or the non-league side? They were an investment firm, American investment firm. They were pretty shit. So you have to be careful with these Americans coming in, I think. That's my only concern.
Huddersfield as well. They did a welcome to Huddersfield thing.
Was it Orient?
Many years ago with the American when they built that brand new big ass stadium?
That was Darlington now, wasn't it?
Darlington.
25. No, that was a called something Singer, wasn't it? That was a British guy.
So that was
25,000 seater stadium, non-league football, and they could only afford to open one stand. They could.
Unbelievable. Was that American? Oh.
I don't think he was American. I think he was British. He tried to buy another club as well afterwards. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, Christ, that was because we were all on the brink at that point. Getting sidetracked, to apologise, everyone. But at that point, I was thinking because didn't they bring? I think they brought in like a couple of decent players at the time as well, like Football League players. And you're thinking they were going to do what Wrexham have now achieved now, sort of thing, that they were going to go almost by the leagues, if you want to call it that, and go up through the football pyramid, but it's gone tits up, like proper gone Pete Tong, like. Where was the one? This one here from Salnight City. Just seen a new Bell video come across to say hi, but what do I know? Oh, mate, I don't even know what's real and what's not anymore. AI scares the shit out of me. I'm not even going to get into that. That's a conversation we should have for Patreon show on a Monday because AI scares the living crap out of me, but that's a different story altogether. What we got? My God, it's 10 to 10. So much for us saying our job, boys.
Totally,
Martin says Eli King will have a big season, strong. Yeah, big fan of Eli King. Saville, I'm guessing he's referring to the midfield, the footballer Saville.
George Saville.
Yeah, no other Saville is decent.
That's also for the member show.
Yeah, that's a different show altogether again. After Oranges. In American buys, we get not. Oh, mate, you
half-time hot dog, isn't it?
I've never come across it before. You might be regular.
No, they beat the fair play regular.
I love the comments you're chucking out, man. It's class. I love it. It tickles me pink. Luton side Naki Wells on the fin today. On the Luton note as well, I'm not hoping we will be having Lewis, who runs the Luton podcast shows. We'll be having a catch up with him in the next few weeks just to discuss how pre-season's gone for Luton and obviously with ourselves with Cardiff as well. So we'll do it in a few weeks' time just to see what the crack is. And so that'll be interesting. Yeah, that's George Saville. Thanks, mate. Cameron Toot. Bill just confirmed a new offer has been made. I like Keon. Fair play, my friend. We don't judge on this show, mate. Dan Lowe, what we got? Taryn could be a Men's League One, pace, power on a wing. Not even a winner. I think Keon has bulked up too. Yeah. But you know what? I got to admit, Ruben looked like about 7 foot tall yesterday against some of the lads playing against when they literally look like body pockets compared to him. Some of those Malaysian lads. Oh, Rhys, again, we're off topic. What was that lad who played for that team yesterday with like the most British name? Was it like David Jones?
Thomas, isn't it? He's also Aussie, apparently. Is he?
Aussie.
He's Aussie.
Again,
it was same thing.
It's brilliant. It was like Malaysian name, Spanish name, Malaysian name, Matthew Thomas, Spanish name. It was just so random.
Do you know what, though? I love the fact, right? I was literally in the process about to type the exact same thing you did in the chat as well. And you acted in there. Oh, I spent too much time with you, obviously. Sue's great comment, this. I'm the only one who doesn't like how public bail is going. I'd rather this business be done in the background, not distract for a pre-season. And that's a very good point. The reality is, this day and age, regardless of what it is, what anything is anymore, it's all to be public eye. I agree. I would prefer it personally to be behind closed doors, but it's just not physically possible anymore, I don't think, mate. Do you agree, boys?
I don't think it makes a difference. I think we've seen Sean Morrison and other players say when the club changed the red kit and that was going on, and they said, no, what did that affect them when they were going? Obviously, we knew we were in the background, but it didn't really affect us. We just got on with our jobs. So again, you think these are professionals. Ownership shouldn't really affect them. So I understand why he's doing it. He's putting pressure on now. He's saying, we are making offers. That way, then the club can't come and say, no one's offered a fair deal. It's great. It's for him personally trying to buy a club. I see why he's doing it, because for him, it says his intentions. I mean, so the club can't turn around and say, look, they did this, this, and this. We all know now the offer's been made. But again, as a footballer, I mean, clubs get bought and sold every season. I mean, you see that happen all the time. It shouldn't really affect the players on the pitch. It might affect the manager in his recruitment, because obviously now he doesn't know if he's going to have money from this owner or if he'll have to deal with another owner. But I don't know. I just don't think it'll affect the players.
Look how riled up we all got when we thought we were going to sign Bale, though, as a player. The reality is it was never going to happen, I don't think.
No, it was actually really close, apparently. It was.
I know. It was never going to happen.
Yeah.
But again,
I'll say this. Oh, God.
No, go on, mate.
Sorry, you both cut out then, so I'm not sure who's going.
No, go on, you go.
All right, okay. Sorry, you all just froze a bit, and I was like, oh, I missed. No, I want to be very particular with my words here, but I think it's a bit, I won't say naive, but we shouldn't sort of ignore the fact that it's probably not just Bale wanting the club. There could be other people as well in the background, just because it's not made public. I think the reason, and again, this is my speculation, so don't take any words from it too seriously. I gotta say that because I don't come myself, I'm gonna be screwed, right? But I think making it public is probably the only way left he can do if he really wants it. I got a feeling Tan will probably want more than, well, originally it was 40 million. I'm not sure what it was now that is put down. Whether that was true or not, I don't know. But I think Tan's only really going to sell now if the club, the new owners, take on all the debt as well, because there's a fair bit of trouble we could be in, and especially with the Salah case still going on, he's going to want every single penny rinsed out to whoever takes it. Because you look at the squad now, Tan probably sees loads of players in there he could just sell last minute and force a sale out of it. But it's interesting that he's given Brian Murphy more or less final say and everything. So that sounds more like an owner who's kind of not given up, but is kind of already packing their bags by the sounds of it. Because otherwise, you'd probably think if he knew he was staying for another few seasons, Tan, he'd probably think, right, we need to make some sales now. But the fact he's kind of sort of left it maybe means he's more open to bids as long as they're willing to take on all the debts, which I think might happen. But who knows, honestly.
In some regards, it's like when you're after a player in there. I mean, 3 clubs could go after the same player. If one club comes out and says, "Oh, we'd love to sign him. We've watched him. He looks brilliant," you're trying to establish a relationship before it's begun. So by Bale doing this now, he knows he can get the fans on side. And if he can get the fans on side in games now, it's going to be chanting for Bale, chanting to get Tan out and stuff. It's going to put pressure on him a bit more. So I think it's a smart move from him. And again, it shouldn't really affect the players. The only thing it'll affect is really the manager. And again, only in the regards of, will he have the money up to spend before the sale, or does he have to wait? The worst case scenario is the club say there's no money while these talks are ongoing. We get to the end of August, to close the transfer window, then both parties go, we didn't agree a fee. So therefore, we both walked away. And then all of a sudden, we haven't had the money to strengthen, and nothing's happened behind the scenes. That's the worst case scenario, man.
That's any worry for me.
Right. Well, right. We'll start rattling through some comments. I mean, if we go over a little bit, I'm fine with it as long as everybody else is. Can't say too late because I get told off otherwise. Dan Lowe, Mr. Dan Lowe says, rumour has it that Civet is coming home. Blackburn's version of Glenn says they aren't in for him and apparently was pictured in Diety's post-game interview. John says, hello, mate. Nick Howe impressed me, everything, but the end product needs working. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, 100%. And, you know, I don't want to go being Mr. Negative, but how many times have we had players with, you know, all the creative ability in the world and no end product? But I think, excuse me, I'm sorry. I think he's one of the ones that could step away from that. I think he's got a lot about him. You know, we've had a lot of players, as you all know, I've called all fat, no poo over the last couple of years. And, you know, I think that he is one who's not all fat, no poo. He's definitely got some poo about him. Like, it's a weird thing to say. But here we are. What we got? Oh, thanks, Wayne, mate. Much appreciated, my friend. What we got? Matty says, Matty have not played with a traditional fullback for a while. BBM model this last night with Lorne Bagan. Again, Bagan. Big fan of Bagan, by the way. Joel Bagan. Huge fan. Big boss man. He had to come in and watch my return. Mansvik was at yesterday's game. Tasonda, muscle injury again. What we go? So, Rhys Connections. Should we go? Big Boss Man says Rhys Connections got Salah Mansvik out of FC. Yeah. Zach says Viva Gareth Bale. He's Gareth Bale. Never mind. I'll sing by myself again for the second time this evening.
I got a feeling people want him in. I don't know why.
Yeah. Need Rhys at the scout for us then, Suze. The man is a star in the making, strong, determined, and skilled. Finishing let me down a bit last night. I think he had a couple of opportunities where he could have scored, but you know, we were just splitting hairs again.
My only worry about him last night was, I don't know if you've seen it, but they were trying to wind him up all night, and in the end he snapped and got sent off. Now my worry is League One defenders are going to see this now and go, we can get to him next year. We can wind him up and get him off. He's got to work on that side. He's got to work on that side of the game because players are going to leave niggles on him, little elbow, and if he does react, it could cost us. So he's got to. They've got to sit him down and tell him, look, this is going to happen next year. Every game, someone's going to target you. Just be brave. Try and play off the other defender. If you have to, drag him out of position and let some running and going behind you. Win the free kick. Go down a bit easier if you have to. Win the free kick. Get him sent off. But don't.
Should learn from a tattoo.
Yeah, well, not go down as easy, but yeah.
He loves the floor. He wants to get engaged to it, honestly, doesn't he?
Would you take Omar Reza back as head of recruitment? Great question, Mark.
I wouldn't be against that. I mean, the 3 signings he made, obviously 2 loans, but I thought it was he fought for those signings as well. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, we give them to you. Like, he really wanted them in. So obviously he saw some in them.
Yeah, again. The only problem is, though, I'm not a fan of this head of recruitment thing because we've seen now how they've signed these players not for a certain style of play, but because they think they'll sell on value in years to come. And then all of a sudden the manager comes in and goes, he doesn't play my style of football. I'm not going to play him. I mean, Max Waters, a club signed him because they seen him in the FA Cup game. He didn't suit another player, none of the manager's style of play. They signed Kanga. It didn't suit their style of play. So I don't agree with this head of recruitment. It should be the manager says, these are the 3 strikers I want to get. I want to get one of these in. Try and get one of these 3. And then they go and try and sign them for him, rather than them going, here's a striker we found for you. Get him in this side and make him work with that. I don't like that. I don't like it.
Right. My OCD's kicking right off. We're currently on 299 live views. So for the love of God, 298. Someone for the love of God, put something else on to put this on as well, because it's stressing me out to make it 300, please. Right. So just here we go, 300. Thank you.
I just loaded up now.
301. Now we're cooking.
One of them was me as well.
Yeah, nice one, boys. No, it was just stressing me out, just lingering around that 290 mark from ages. It was doing my nutting. Sorry. Right. So I am going to rattle through these comments, chip sharpish, and we'll rack it up because we are in overtime, as the Americans like to say. Right. What we got? Alves. Skill merchant at times. Didn't shoot or pass, just played the ring rows with the ball. And yeah, that was definitely a thing.
That happened a lot, didn't it? The instinct, that clear instinct of players was just gone last year. Like El Ghazi going through and just passing right at the shop and stuff.
Sam, go for the comments. Didn't ask for your opinion.
Oh, good luck on your own next week.
I'm only joking. Love you, really. Rob, if Bale takes over, we all want to see a flower of a hatless Rhys. How does that sound?
I'll go to Turkey for a few months first, I will.
I love that they haven't said me, by the way. Is that because I got a full head of hair? Maybe. Is that why?
I'll be going in a couple of years, probably.
I'll come back and job.
You were saying Josh, he was dropped by it after. Oh, Christ, my head. So, yeah, that's true. Fancy. Oh, Bob Bank, you're on fire tonight, my friend. Yes, 100% Fancy.
Good the quizzes.
Palace. NG Singapore. This is when your Wi-Fi dropped out. Tim Pot, Swansea Wi-Fi.
Wasn't Wi-Fi, my camera.
Oh, mate, 100%. Brad Friedel. Love Brad. And Tim Howard, by the way. Big fan. Local American owned. Yes, that's true. Let's get a documentary about the rise. That's a thing we could do, I'm sure, boys.
Do you see, sorry, very quickly, you see tonight's one, Niakua, he was going to do like an interview with players as a little lecture on the club TV thing, right? He said to Robertson, what are you looking forward to most about this season? And Robertson goes, starting more games.
Oh,
I just thought that was hilarious. There's a big digger saying like, oh, I don't know.
Well, to be fair, man, when he did start at the second half of the season, he looked like he down tools a bit. So, back his ideas up a bit and fucking show us what you can do, like.
I don't think Bullock got on with it, maybe. I don't know.
Fucking hell, this chat don't stop tonight, is it? What we got? I'm still like 10 minutes away from where we are. What we got? BBM will want a fast start to his representative. Yeah, 100%. Agreed.
You want a fast start anyway when he...
Oh,
yeah, 100%. Tan's converted a lot of debt into equity, so he's owed a lot in that sense. I think Bale and Co. going public is banking on fan support and lack of fans of Tan to force it through. Yeah, 100% agree. Zach again, probably for about the 75th time this evening has gone Viva Gareth Bale. Yeah, that's a great point, Martin. Norwich trying to wind him up. I don't think, I know I'm going against everything I just literally said, but I think that League One is not the big boot, long ball, 25 stone centre halves. It was somewhat 10, 15, 20 years ago. Given the teams that's in there, there's not a great drop off the top half, if you like, between the League One and the Championship, the bottom end of the Championship, I think. There's a lot of still athletes. I mean, you look at the teams probably will come up from League Two, they are going to have those sort of players in there, but it's not like it was a few years ago, I don't think.
But so you got a Port Vale now, right? So you got Port Vale and they go in, this team are going to try and play fancy football against us. He's going to try and do some skills and tricks. I'm not even embarrass me. I'll leave a foot in him. I'll go in early so the ref doesn't card me. I think it'll happen quite a bit.
Scottish and Marky and Moody outline. Thank you, my friend. I missed you. Right. I've caught up. We'll call it quits for the sake of my everything. Thank you all so much for joining us. The comments have been mint. Proper put a smile on my face. I've loved them. Been nice and interactive, nice and positive. It's mint. Thank you. Rhys, Evan, you've been an absolute gem. Thank you, lads. It's been great to come back and have you with me on here. It's been lush. I don't know what's coming up for Cardiff City World, etc. over the next few weeks, but next few days, so I beg your pardon. But what I do know is next week, Flower Hour will return, and Flower Hour will return with an ex-Cardiff City and Welsh international guest to join us along the way, and I can't wait. Big fan of him, big friend of the show. Viva Gareth Bale is trending like a motherfucker. But without further ado, there's only been one thing left to say, my friends. Up a flower and Viva Gareth.
Swagger down the street. Lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.